Hello everyone and welcome back to Milo Farms. Well, today we're going to be doing the oil change on this 2007 Yamaha Phazer Mountain Light. This oil change, the method will apply to a whole bunch of different Yamahas of this same era. It could be the Phazer Mountain or the Phazer kind of trail sleds, things like that. It'll all be the same. So the things that you're going to need to get started are going to be some oil. Then you'll need a metric Allen wrench set and a ratchet with a 10mm socket. So we're going to take off the side covers here on both sides, the top part. On the left-hand side, you have these releases right here. You twist them counterclockwise and take them off. Here, here, and down here. There's 3 of them on that side. And then over on the right-hand side, it uses the Allen wrench. I think it's a 5mm. You have one down here, 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 and then one underneath here as well. So we've got the top covers off on both sides, and we're going to go ahead and take the lower cover off on the right-hand side. So you can see the lower cover on the left. At this point, you don't need to take that off, but we're going to take the one off the right. So on the right-hand side, there's going to be an Allen right here that needs to be taken out. Then underneath, you're going to have the 10mm bolt here, and one in the front to take out. All right, there's the side cover taken off. So now we're going to go underneath and take the bottom cover off. Underneath the bottom, you can see here, there is 6 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You take this cover off underneath. All right, that plate's off the bottom. And so we're going to go ahead and start the machine and let it warm up for a few minutes. So as you can see right here, I have the drive belt taken off of the sled. That'll allow it to idle easily and not sit and wear on that belt while it's sitting stationary. Not recommended to run it without the belt on it, especially if you're going to speed the engine up. But you can get away with it if you're having it just sit in the shop and servicing it and things like that. So also you've got these covers off. You want to just make sure you stay away from anything that might be turning while the engine is running. So let's go ahead and start it up. So that's pretty good right there for not running all summer long, and that's the first start of the fall right there. We'll go ahead and let that warm up. All right, we let that warm up for about 10 minutes or so. Now we're going to come down underneath right here, and this is a 12mm bolt. We're going to go ahead and take that out. I've already pre-loosened it, and we're going to let the oil drain out while it's still warm. So there it is right there into our drain pan. Give that a few minutes. While we're waiting up here on top, we'll go ahead and remove this wire connection for the oil sensor. Just tuck that out of the way somewhere. Then we'll loosen the filler cap, which also doubles as the oil level sensor. Loosen that and just set it off to the side. Now while we'll have that draining, we'll come down here to the other side, and right up here you'll see this large Allen headed bolt. That's the oil drain for the pan underneath the motor. We're going to go ahead and take that out and drain it into just this little container right here. If you've never had this bolt out from the factory, they are extremely tight. So you'll have to get a really sturdy Allen wrench or some other contraption or collection of wrenches to try to get it out. And there it is draining out right there. Doesn't have a whole lot in there, just this little quart container should catch everything that's in there. Once those are both drained out, go ahead and put the caps back on or the plugs back in. One thing you can do if you'd like to, I usually do it every couple of years, is take these 2 screws off right here, and up inside of here is a screen oil filter that just kind of catches the big pieces before it goes back into the intake system there for the oil. Sometimes you can find some little pieces of fibers maybe off of the oil filter or something like that in there. As far as changing the oil filter, I think Yamaha recommends changing it once after the first few hundred miles and then at 12,000 miles thereafter. So I usually change mine every couple of years. I don't do it 12,000 miles, but I do it more frequently than that, but every few years. To get to the oil filter, there's several different options. One, you can split the sled basically in half to get to it. Another one, people claim they can fish it out through the boot for the front tie rod. Another option that is the correct way per Yamaha is to go in through the top and take a few things off that are in the way of it and then just take it out. That's honestly probably the easiest if you're going to be doing it the simplest way. But if you're going to be doing other things like the UP Bushman steering or something like that, you can get to it while you're in there doing that as well. So we took the oil cap off, which is also the oil sensor, and we're going to go ahead and fill it back up with oil. The oil we're going to be using is the Yamaha oil. It's the 030 synthetic blend for the snowmobiles. There's several other options for 030 out there. I think Mobil makes one or something like that. According to the books, they say you shouldn't use that because it has the energy savings additives or something in it, which can cause problems with the starters. I've used it before, but this is the one that Yamaha recommends. I happen to live right around the corner from the Yamaha dealership and can usually talk them down on the price for a whole case of this oil. So I just buy it by the case and can usually get a few dollars off, and it works out just fine. All right, we're all closed back up there. It took about 2.5 quarts or so. I think that's about the right amount that we normally use. You can kind of tell with yours. The way to check it is using the dipstick. You put the dipstick so the threads are just touching but not screwed in. Pull it back out, and then you can check the level on the dipstick. It's very hard to tell with new oil because the new oil is so clear, it's hard to see. So last thing you'll do is go ahead and close it all back up. Put all the pieces back, the covers and everything, in just the reverse order that you took them off. I'm going to leave them off for now because we're going to do some other videos, some chain case oil changes and things like that. So I'm going to leave those covers off to make the next videos a little bit easier. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out the links in the description to support the channel. And remember, you can't finish a project without getting started.